there, guys. Welcome to another edition of Bo Knows Business. I am your host, Nick Kober. I'm also the founder of the Bo Collective. We have 50 amazing Black women-led businesses, and we want to share their stories, their becoming stories. How did they start their businesses? What were their early influences, and how they scaled, and how they can help you as well. This week is no exception. One of my good girlfriends. I look forward to Wednesdays like nobody's business. I get to play, share, talk, and learn so much about these amazing sisters that I have. Today, we have Dr. Rachel Yvonne Talton. She is just such a beautiful spirit. You guys will love her as much as I do. So let's welcome her to the stage. Dr. Rachel, how are you, friend?
I am doing wonderful. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you so much for your vision, your God-led vision of founding the Bo Collective, and thank you for being my double sister and my triple sister. My triple sister.
Triple sister. Oh, I love it. Yes, yes, yes. We just, I always joke that I'm a member of all the girls groups, right? So we deltas, links, flow. I got 12 days. We have so many things as women that connect us, and that really is the glue. That's why this was not surprising to me that we could bring 50 amazing women like yourself together and have that shared vision and try to scale our businesses together. So I want you to just take us back. We do this a third, and the first third is always my most fun, because I love learning about my girlfriends. I love learning how you were as a child, where you were raised, what were your early influences. All right. So can you take us back? I say to little Rachel Yvonne, or how did you grow up?
Oh my gosh, that's such a wonderful question and brings back so many powerful, great memories. So I was actually born in Los Angeles, born in Pasadena, California.
Really? I have girlfriends there, Pasadena. Spent a lot of
time. just a California baby. And we moved to Cleveland, Ohio when I was 3. My dad was transferred with his job to Cleveland, Ohio. We had no family here. I come from a huge family.
Okay.
So my mom has 19 brothers and sisters. Yes.
What?
19. 11 of them attorneys. Yeah.
11 are attorneys?
Yes.
Oh my gracious. I don't think I've ever heard.
Yeah,
that's amazing.
And I'm surprised. I'm surprised that you didn't know that, but yeah. So we have a huge, very close family, and so my mom had, my family's from Arkansas.
Okay.
And my mom moved to California because her big sister and brother had moved there, right? And so we have a lot of family in California, just because the migration started with the older children. So when my dad moved to, my mom and dad moved to Cleveland, Ohio, it was like, I don't know anyone here. And at that time she was an elementary school teacher. And so we really, obviously my little brother was born. Is
it just the two of you
guys?
Just
the two of us.
Oh,
just the
wow.
two. My dad had other children. Okay. By his previous wife. So I had a big brother and a big sister, but my mom only had the 2 children. And when she had Matt, I was like, thank you very much for your service. You're done. This is my baby now. And I have
a surrogate mom, huh?
He has been my baby ever since. My little brother, and I call him little. He's like 6'3", 260 pounds. But that's my baby. And we grew up in Cleveland Heights. My parents subsequently got divorced, which, for many, children is a tough time and a difficult time. I was actually happy because I wanted them to be happy. and
Yes.
they weren't
How
happy.
old were you when they divorced?
I was 11, I
You
think,
were
10
11.
or 11.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, years
So
old.
you can, I'm pausing, even though this is not what we talk about, but
No, go ahead.
um, you as a child could sense at 11
Oh
that
yeah.
they were not happy.
Oh yeah.
And I would say some people believe, hey, let's stay together. And I'm like, the kids know. The
They
kids
know.
always know. They
They always know.
sense, they see, they know.
They know. They know. And and I'm an empath anyway, and I have always been. They used to call me Dr. Rachel when I was a kid.
You were Dr. Rachel. Guess what my nickname was by my mother?
What?
Mom.
Oh.
So I was always taking, like,
Always a mom.
the cousins on the hips, and I'm like 6,
Yep.
so
And you're still that way.
we were
You're
born
still
that way,
with
right?
all of
We
us.
can't even help it. We can't do nothing about it, girl.
I can't do nothing about it. Oh, that's so funny. So, so we grew up in Cleveland Heights. My dad ultimately remarried again. I used to joke with him when he was alive. You married everybody you met, Daddy.
Look, me and your dad. Little do you know, we are kindred spirits. But I stopped.
You digress, right? He moved down the street from us, and so we grew up in Cleveland Heights, which is a very Jewish neighborhood, interestingly.
Mm-hmm.
And so many of my friends were Jewish. I would go to synagogue with them, and they would come to church with me. So inclusion has been a part of my life, even though I didn't really know. I mean, just at that time, I thought everybody is just who they are, and didn't really know the scourge of racism and the difficulty that women have in the marketplace, et cetera. So then we moved back to California for my mom to go to law school. So I went to elementary school, junior high school and high school in LA. And so, I was like, oh yes, I'm going back home. All my cousins are here. And, I've always been from California. Even when I was little, I was like, I'm from California,
Your spirit, your energy. I get it. Absolutely.
Yes.
California girl all the way.
Absolutely. So it was wonderful growing up. I was actually bused. So we lived in South Central LA, and I was bused to the Valley. Like, I'm a total Valley girl. I will tell you, you talk about the origin story, the becoming story. When I was 6 years old, I saw the movie Sybil. Sybil. Yeah, I don't know if you remember that, but
I do. Very much. Multiple personalities. Was Sally Field?
Yep, Sally Fields. Yep, she had 27 personalities, and I saw that movie, and I literally I don't think I blinked through the entire movie. Like, I was absolutely riveted. And what happened for me is that I felt in my spirit that I could jump through the screen and help her and put her back together, hug her back to normal.
Yes, just be her friend.
Be her friend.
All she needed was love.
All she needed was love, and a safe. Again, I didn't have the words to articulate psychological safety at that time. I just knew that I could do that. And so I told my mom, Mommy, I want the job that puts Sybil back together. Oh. And she was like, first of all, who let you watch that movie?
Right. So first, second, and third. I was like.
Right. She was like, I would not have let you watch that movie at all. And number one. Number two, where is my 6-year-old? What are you talking about? And I was like, that's what I want to do with my life. That is what I want to do with my life. I want to help people like that. People that who have sicknesses you can't see. And I understood that that
Yes.
she had
Because
an
of the
illness, but you couldn't
pregnancy.
see it, right?
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
inside of her.
It was
And so, I was very focused. She
yeah.
was like, okay, that's psychology. She got me all these books, and I began to read like Freud and Jung. I mean, really, really early on, very, very focused. And so I did well in school. I was, I mean, and not because I was a good girl or any of that. I was like actually kind of quite a troublemaker. I
I
mean,
don't believe that for
not, I mean, it's interesting.
I don't believe that at all.
I pushed the envelope, right? I always
So you
pushed
were
the
you were a
boundaries.
rebel. You were
I
like,
was a
why
rebel.
can't I? You were
Exactly.
why can't I girl?
Yeah.
I can see
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
You're a leader.
Totally. I
You're
was
a
a
leader.
punk rocker, right? I mean, like with pearls on, by the way.
Punk rocker with pearls, girl. That's a book. That's a title. Listen. I don't know much, but that is a title.
That is a title. But but I did do well in school. I enjoyed. I mean, I still obviously enjoy learning and reading and growing. And so I started taking college classes, psychology classes in like the ninth grade and the 10th grade. I got a job in a psych ward in the 11th grade, and then in the 12th grade. So I was going to Cal State, LA, on a bus by myself.
You were
during that
focused.
time. I'm sorry.
You were focused.
I was really focused. I was really, really focused. I didn't have the word God job then, but I just knew that's what I wanted to do with my life. We spent a lot of time in Arkansas. So, in the summers, my mom would take off and go to Europe she would travel. God bless her. I'm so glad she did, because I definitely caught that bug. And she would send us to Arkansas to spend time with my grandparents and my cousins. And, as I said, there were 19 kids, but they didn't have any money. They were literally dirt poor. My grandfather was a sharecropper. I remember we would go there, and there would be like 6 of us in the bed, sleeping, and we weren't allowed to listen to music or play cards. And we just had so much fun. Talk about influences. My grandmother, to this day, she died when I was 16 years old. And that was one of the crucible moments in my life. But she was just my heart. She was just, my PhD is in management, but my research area is trust. And I think one of the reasons is because she was just the most trustworthy, kind, caring, giving human being I've ever met. So I would just follow her around and talk to her. She would sing Amazing Grace, and she was just, she always did what she said she was going to do. She was always transparent and honest and just good. So I had a really wonderful, obviously challenges, everybody has those, but I had a really wonderful child.
So rich. I mean, your eyes are glistening. They're glistening, and and you're touching me deeply. I'm going to my grandmother's funeral that's coming up, and everything that you're saying, is they just don't make those kind of women anymore. I believe that they were just so special. Just their heart was bigger than their body.
Oh, absolutely.
Always giving. I literally never heard my grandmother raise her voice.
Nope. Not a bad word about anyone. And God bless your grandmother. I didn't know, Nick. I'm so sorry to hear.
Well, I smiled. I'm glistening because it's gratitude. They were literally the foundation of who you were. And I'll share one story. This is so off record, but she had dementia for the last decade of her life. And right as she was transitioning, so maybe I saw her maybe 8 years ago, and she really didn't know. She didn't know me, but she could still have conversations. Toward the end, she couldn't have conversations. And something happened, and she said, I know you. I raised you.
Mm.
I raised you to be a good girl. I raised you to be a good girl. And bloop,
Yeah, I mean,
and then nothing, nothing else. So those pearls, they are foundational to us. They're foundational, and they take us so far. So it is not surprising to me at all how fabulous you are, because you came from that foundation. So I thank you for sharing that with me. We went over a little more, but it was so worth knowing who you are. So let's transition for our young entrepreneurs out there, those young at heart, trying to figure out how to scale their business to $1 million. So let's go to this second chapter. We know what you majored in. We know that you are an empath. You have always wanted to help people. Tell us about your business. Tell us what it is. Tell us how you started it, and give us that. That's like the condensed version, like 3 minutes.
So I actually started Synergy in August of 2002. My husband, who was an attorney, said,
Oh,
something.
happy 20-year anniversary,
Thank
girl.
thank you. I know, and
That's
I
awesome.
gotta figure something out how to celebrate. I
That
can't
is
believe
awesome.
it. 20
Girl,
years.
we're there wherever you are, wherever it's going to be. Your both sisters are there.
Awesome, and what just an incredible group to celebrate with. I started the business in 2002. My husband, who was an attorney, if you do know this, suddenly passed away.
Yes.
And I was a banker. I was headed to the C-suite in banking. Interestingly, I decided against psychology because I didn't want to go to school for the next 30 years. Well, I went to school for the next 30 years anyway, and had fallen in love with marketing and HR and the intersection of marketing and HR. I fell out of love with banking, but I went to see my mentor, which is a very important piece here. You talk about young people wanting to, or young at heart people wanting to start their business. And I said, I'm sitting outside of the bank crying every day, right? And I don't know if it's pain of Mark or what, but I don't love this anymore. And he asked me a question, which I think was the start of me founding Synergy. He said, well, what do you love?
Yes.
Right? I had come to him with here's a problem, and he said, no, I'm going to reframe that. You're talking about what you don't love. I want to talk about what you do love. And I said, well, I love it when an organization really understands the needs of the marketplace. I love it when they give their employees the tools and resources to meet those needs. Yes. And I love it when an organization can turn a profit, because then they can keep doing the good work in their communities, right?
Can we hire you at Bo? That's so perfect.
I mean, it's just, and I sat there, I was drawing these circles, and I said, right there in the middle, that's what I want to do. That's what I love. And I said, that's Synergy. And he was like, yeah, that's Synergy. And then he and I literally in his living room, on his living room floor. And speaking about mentors, this is a white male Republican accountant. We couldn't be more opposite if you tried, right?
Yes.
And he is one of the most important people in my life. So he helped me to found Synergy. Interestingly, diversity, equity, and inclusion, Kent State actually called me to do their diversity plan, but it was not really part of what I was going to do. It was really focused on research and leadership development and marketing. But diversity was always my quote unquote God job, right? It was over here. It was to the side. of the work that I was doing. Executive coaching, God job. That was it was like, why are people even paying me for this? Like, this is,
You love it.
like, I would do this for free every day, right?
Mm-hmm.
And but I'm focused on my day job. Ended up getting my master's, getting my PhD, and growing the company. Interestingly enough, we were always a very, quote unquote, we were moderately successful, under $1 million, but moderately like lifestyle successful. And probably about 10 years in, we grew to a little bit larger than moderately successful. It wasn't until the last 3 years that we've grown to probably triple our size. And this is get your pens out, okay? It is because I started focusing on my God job.
Yes.
When I watched George Floyd's life being taken from us on television with everyone else, immediately, God was like, okay, your God job needs to be your day job now.
Yeah.
And 4 days later, I called Cornell. I didn't know how I was going to pay for it. I put it on a credit card.
Yeah.
Their diversity, equity, and inclusion certification.
Certification.
Mm-hmm. 4 days after George Floyd passed away, I signed up for that program. And the reason that I didn't know how I was going to pay for it is because COVID. We had lost most of our marketing, quote unquote, clients. Nobody was doing that.
Nobody's doing it. Mm-hmm.
Nobody was doing it. So financially, I was like, I don't even know how I'm going to pay for this, and I don't care. I'm going, and I'm just going to be focused on the work that I love, the work that I would do for free. And so today, every single day, I get to wake up and do that work for free. And we have scaled. We have probably tripled the size of our business since that time.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's amazing. I want to ask you in terms of the scaling. A lot of your Bow sisters who have joined me have talked about the diversification aspect of scaling. They've also talked about the relational aspect of scaling. Can you talk to either of those or both of those points? How has that impacted your business?
Yeah, and so I'm going to talk about both. So it is absolutely critical that you love what you do. Right? You asked me for a quote, and I'm gonna give you one at the end. But you have to love what you do, but you also have to be great at it, right? And I don't know, have you heard of Ikigai? Ikigai, it's Ikigai, Ikigai, and it is a Japanese symbol that really talks about the purpose, your purpose. What do you love? What are you good at? What can you get paid for, right? And so ensuring that you're doing those things really well is critical. The second thing is making sure that you have the relationships to scale. So we've always had relationships. We would partner with our sister companies to do projects, et cetera. Recently, we probably have 20 consultants that we work with, that work on projects with us, that are amazing. Some of them are full-time with us, some of them are not. And so those relationships, building trusted relationships, people who can represent your brand.
Yes,
that absolutely. Is huge. That is huge. And so building those relationships based on a foundation of trust is critical. And being able to be diverse, but don't go outside of what you do well, right? Don't be, I'm not going to start making shoes,
Making cars,
or making cars, right? I was going to say like Tori Sudan, as amazing as she is, she's great at that.
Great at that.
I'm great at buying them.
You make the shoes, I will purchase and refer your shoe.
Exactly.
I love it. No, thank you so much. I mean, that was succinct. That's what you do. Tight pearls. And just like the pearls you're wearing, I have said every week we are adding another pearl to this bow necklace of experiences, of just vulnerability, joy, intellect, and I'm so grateful to you. So I'm gonna give you the last couple of words. Tell us about Bow. Tell us about your experience. It's only been a couple of months, and tell us what your hopes are that the greater community, the world, will know about our organization.
You know, as soon as we got on this podcast today, I thanked you for your vision. You know, as soon as you called me, I was like, you know, just tell me where to be, tell me what to do. You know, I am 100% all in. And your passion for building Black women as a resource for these global organizations, governments, nonprofit entities, small businesses as a resource is really critical. I am, you know, Bow is one of those. It is. I was talking to my mom, who is also one of my heroes. I was talking to my mom about how much Bow means to me, how important it is that 50 Black women generating over $250 million a year, employing probably over 1,500 people in the world, is literally putting a stamp on Black girl magic, right? Yes. We are incredible. The heart that I talked about, right? So the definition of trust, you know, look, don't get me started. The definition of trust is the willingness to be vulnerable. The definition of trustworthiness is benevolence. The way I talked about my grandmother, right? You have someone's back, that you put their needs before your own. Integrity, that you literally, that you are open and that you share the values of that individual. And competency, that you're brilliant, that you're smart, that you have the tools, the talents, the skills, the ability, the education to do the task in front of you. And so this group is a group of trusted advisors across industries, and we are all Black women. So what does that do? That provides an opportunity for organizations, large and small, government entities and nonprofits, to take advantage of all of the expertise as well as that goodness, because that is a superpower.
That is a superpower.
Yes. That Black women have. Not to say that others don't. There are many good people. There are 36 dimensions of diversity, as we know, yes. and they're wonderful human beings across the board. Black women have this magical ability to make something out of nothing, and work harder and smarter and to collaborate in new and different ways. And I could not be more proud of you, and I could not be more proud to be a co-founder of the Bow Collective. My wish for the Bow Collective is that by next year, and thank you so much for the opportunities that you and we as the leadership team are creating for the Bow Collective, that by next year we have increased by 30 to 40%. That's my wish. Yes. 30 to 40%, and that we continue to grow our businesses and our sister businesses. I mentioned Tori Sudan, whose board I'm on. Our goal is to ensure that we grow by 30+% in the first year, 25+% every year after that. That's every single Bow sister. That is my wish. And I have said it. We are touching and agreeing, and God said, and so it shall be.
And so it shall be. Oh, you just filled my whole spirit. I mean, I just love you so much. I'm so grateful to you. You led me down this path. You invited me almost, I don't know how many
It's
years
almost
ago.
10 years ago. Yep. To
And
flourish.
and I just delight in how you bless Black women. You've given me the template, and you showed me how we could take our God jobs and replicate it.
That's
And
right.
I say that all the time. I hope that we are duplicated. I hope other groups of
That's right.
Black women say, we can get together, we can make money together. Yes, you
That's right.
can. Yes,
Yes,
you
we can.
can. And
Yes,
yes,
we
you
can.
shall.
That's
And
right.
so I thank you so much. Tell our listeners, our viewers, how to stay in contact with you.
Oh, absolutely. And please connect with me on LinkedIn. Dr. Rachel Talton on Facebook. I think it's Dr. Rachel as well, Dr. Rachel Talton. Those are the two best ways. I have an Instagram, but I'm not really on there. But please connect with me. Our website is www.synergyloyalty.com. Please check us out. We're having that redone as we speak, so I'm excited about that for our 20th anniversary. And I'm going to ask for the business, right? So if you need diversity, equity, and inclusion consulting. We do consulting with Amazon, Toyota, Mars Corporation, many of the largest, as you know, largest global companies on earth, as well as governments as well. We do probably 70% of our work is diversity focused, but a lot of the work that I do on a daily basis is executive coaching as well. So we do leadership development, executive coaching, and DEIB work. And we would love to have your business and would love to talk with you about really creating an inclusive culture at your organization across the employee life cycle and across your stakeholder relationships, getting yourself to be a more effective leader. And I'd love to have your business if you're interested.
Thank you so much. No one does it better. The grand opening, grand closing, girl. That was amazing. Amazing. I love you so much. Thank you for sharing your day with us.
Thank you. May I give you my quote, please?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So I wrote this because you asked for a quote, and it is, success is not the key to happiness. Doing what you love is the key to success. So I wake up every day with the passion to do my God job with joy. That is the meaning of success.
Amen. Oh, thank you, sister. Thank you for blessing our audience today.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you for your vision. And may God continue to shine his light, his love, and his grace all over you and all over your business as well.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sister. Oh, are you all's eyes welling up? Are your chills? Did you get chills? This woman is amazing. Follow her. Follow our boat journey. Follow these stories. Thank you so much for joining us again today. We hope to inspire every one of you to follow your own vision, do what you love, and make money doing it too. There, it is a both and. It is possible. You can flourish, as our sisters have shown you. Thank you so much, and we love you. We'll see you next week.